In the third part of tonight's class, we continued focusing on our reflection from that on-the-spot, true soul-searching. And we focused a lot on the technicalities of blessings before and after as part of one person's growth in the month of Elul.
So, I just wanna, can you add information? So after people eat, how long do they have time? How much time people have to say the blessing and still count?
So technically, the time given is 72 minutes, but really 72 minutes means as long as you feel full. So if you ate a meal an hour and a half ago or 2 hours ago, but you still feel like you ate, you're still feeling satisfied from the meal, you can still bless God for it. So if you look in the books, the time given is always 72 minutes. That's because that's the time our sages say, you know, even 72 minutes after you eat, you still have this feeling of full. But some of us, depending on our constitution, depending on how much we ate, depending on what quality of food we ate, you could eat a meal and 2 hours later, you feel you ate that meal. You feel totally satisfied. As long as you still have that feeling inside of you that you ate and you were satisfied, inside of you now, not a memory, but right now your body feels that you have the food in you, full from the food, you could still bless God for it.
Okay, so that's I would say that could be helpful for Menucha. If you don't remember right away, you have about 72 minutes plus minus. So if you remember later, oh, I ate and I didn't say it, it's still fine to say it.
It's good to know, but let me ask you, the short one, moro di hai pito, does it count?
Yes, that counts, but that's only after bread, meaning it's not after all food. It's a very shortened version after bread.
Oh, okay.
So if you had an egg, you can't say that. It's talking about bread. But if you had a sandwich, you can say that, and that's the very abridged version, thanking God for bread, and that bread would include anything you ate with the bread. So if you had bread and a steak, you make that blessing, and that includes that whole meal. You had bread and eggs and salad, you can make that blessing, and it includes the whole meal because the bread is viewed as the most foundational food. So everything else is considered with the bread. It includes anything eaten with bread. So therefore, on your Shabbat meal, you have the bread, the challah, and then you have this whole 5-course meal. You say that one line, it includes everything because everything was bread plus. So it's all included. But if you didn't eat bread at all, you can't say that line. That line doesn't apply.
Which one do I say if I don't eat bread, the short one?
So there are 2 other things in the prayer book. The first one in the Hebrew is called Borei Nefashos, which I would look inside because, to be honest, I don't think of it. Oh, sorry, I did not mean to close my video. If you have the Chabad prayer book or the app of the Chabad prayer book, in the prayer book, it's on page 94 and 95. If you're doing the app, and in the prayer book, it says the after blessings. And the first after blessing is the longer after blessing, which is after 3 categories of food. The most significant thing is bread. So that's why bread has its own blessing. And the real blessing after bread is actually quite long. It's many pages. But that abridged version totally counts, and that's one line. The next category of food, we have 3 subcategories: grain, fruits, the special fruits of Israel, and wine. And grains, we mean the 5 grains that we call, that are the biblical grains of wheat, barley, spelt, oats, and rye. Wheat, barley, spelt, oats, and rye, those are the grains. So if you had a pot
of buckwheat doesn't count.
No, buckwheat does not count. Quinoa doesn't count. Rice doesn't count. Wheat, barley, spelt, oats, and rye. Not in their raw form as a grain, but as a flour that then something was made with them, that was baked with them, like a cracker, like a cookie, like, a flatbread, something like that. That's one category. The next category is the fruits of Israel. When we say the fruits of Israel, it doesn't have to be grown in Israel. It just has to be the fruits that Israel is praised with, which are grapes, pomegranate, dates, figs, and olives. Those 5 are the fruits of Israel. So dates, pomegranates, grapes, pomegranate, dates, figs, and olives. Those 5 are considered the fruits of Israel. Even if they were grown in California or Greece, it doesn't make a difference. These are the special fruits of Israel, and therefore they're included in this second category. And the third category is wine. So if you would look in a prayer book or an app could be a Siddur app, a prayer book app, or it could just be even like a miniature version of that. All those types of apps usually have something where they say the after blessings. So this is considered the after blessing after certain foods that are longer. These are the categories. And then you would just read it where you would see in the prayer, it sort of subdivides in 2 places where you would say, if it was the grains, you would say for the sustenance and the nourishment. If it was for the wine, you'd say the vine and the fruits of the wine. If it was for the special fruits of Israel, you would say for the tree and the fruits of the tree. But again, the tree and the fruits of the tree don't mean apples or oranges or peaches or plums or pears. It only means those fruits of Israel. So that's the longer after blessing, which is a paragraph. Everything else. What else is there? Everything else in the world. Anything that's not bread, not a baked product from the flour of those 5 grains, not those 5 special fruits of Israel, and not wine. Everything else has this one-liner, which is a blessing. Blessed are you, Lord, our God, creator of the universe. And then we say, creator of numerous living beings and their needs, for all the things you have created with which to sustain the soul of every living being. We are blessing God that with your food, you are sustaining my life. And you're actually not only sustaining my life, you sustain the life of all creations. Blessed is he who is the life of the world. It's not only the food that's sustaining my life, you, God, are sustaining my life. And that's what we're saying in this blessing. So this blessing covers everything else, a soda or cheese or meat or fish or candy or your apple, pear, plum or your tomato, cucumber, anything else you can imagine that's not bread or flour from those 5 grains baked into something, or the 5 fruits of Israel, or wine. Everything else, you say this one-liner after.
How do you say it in Hebrew?
How would you say it in Hebrew? After the blessing, it starts Borei Nefashos, Rabos, V'chesroinan, Al.
Wait, after Nefashos, Borei Nefashos,
Rabos, V'chesronan,
Ronan,
Al, Kol, Ma, Shebarasa, Lehachayos, Bahem, Nefesh, Kol, Choy, Baruch, Hey, Ha'olamim. Ha'olamim.
Got it. Thank you.
Great. So you can put a big sign of that somewhere on your fridge and somewhere on your cabinets. Stop, bless, eat. Stop, bless, go. You can think of some cute slogan. Someone can post it on the WhatsApp if they think of a great slogan. And then you have the blessings. Because that's a memory thing, as versus some other things like you're saying, getting up early in the morning, that's a very hard thing to do. Focusing is a hard thing. A lot of these things are like really challenging, but blessings, nobody's stopping us. Nobody's preventing us from doing it. It's really just the memory of it. We just have to remember, and honestly, sometimes I struggle. Did I say a blessing or did I not say a blessing? Not the blessings before, but like an after blessing. Did I say the after blessing? Did I not say the after blessing? So what I try to do, which I am not usually good at, but my memory tip to help me remember if I said it or not is to always say it looking inside the prayer book. Because then I have more that happened around it. So I'm more conscious that I did it. And then it's easier for me to remember. And I can still forget. But it's, yeah, it's focus. It's all about focus. It's for all of us. It might be different things where we need to focus on, but we all are struggling with focus. So that's great. That's amazing. So Menucha gained, Jana gained. Anyone else? Something they gained from this introspection that we took time to do?
I did. I was thinking about where I would like to be in my communication style. That's my work. And every time we have a conversation that went okay, then I can say that I'm getting there. Maybe not how I want the conversation feel, but I'm working on it, I'm remembering it, and now I'm already have hard time to remember what specifically I need to, which points I need to bring into, but that's what was what I was working on in my head. I know where I want to be, I know what I consider good at least, and that's my work.
I also felt that I gained when I was thinking, because I could a lot of times tell myself that, I give myself a long list of things, but now I was just taking the time to envision it, like just to get into that space of what does it look like? What would it look like? And that's a really nice space. It looks really good, it looks so appealing. It looks so enticing. It looks so positive. It's so glowing, that look. And it's just like, oh, I felt that was really good, because it really makes you want it more. It makes it feel closer and more real, and not just something on a list in your mind or a list on a paper, but like something more both desirable and almost more tangible, because you can see it. You're not just, you could, like Chava's saying, you can see what that conversation would look like. So it makes it both more real and more like, I want it. I can see it. I can taste it. I can touch it. I want it. I want that level. And then from what we want, what we're aspiring to, all right, now let's do the grunt work of where we are and at least where we want to get to. So I guess we will stop at this point. Thank you so much. Jana, you should have much, much, much joy with your new grandchild, and see health for both of your parents in both of their areas. And thank you so much for joining, and everyone, thank you for contributing and doing all this great Elul work. We should all be able to continue and really know God's in the field with us, smiling, giving us so much compassion, so much care. So we have a lot of power to do a lot of good. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, and the same to you. The best.